Good morning, my dear students. In today's class, I am going to be discuss about receiver bandwidth requirements. In CW receiver, we are using the Doppler amplifier. This Doppler amplifier allows the Doppler frequencies, and if the wideband amplifier is used, it will introduce the additional noise. The Doppler amplifier has to allow only Doppler frequencies. If the bandwidth is high, it will introduce the additional noise. It will reduce the signal to noise ratio. And in theory, we have taken a continuous wave signal of infinite duration, but in practical, it is not possible. But in practice, we have only finite duration sinusoidal signal. If the signal is a finite duration signal, the spectrum is going to be spreaded. That means the bandwidth is going to be increased. And these factors must be known to calculate the approximate bandwidth of the Doppler amplifier. And there are several factors that will increase the Doppler amplifier bandwidth. The bandwidth is increased due to if the echo signal is a not pure sine wave of finite duration, and fluctuations in the target cross section, and target accelerations, and scanning fluctuations, and if the relative velocity of the target is not constant, it will also leads to increase in the bandwidth, and these factors will increase the bandwidth of the Doppler amplifier. We have to select the bandwidth in a proper way. If the bandwidth is too high, it will introduce additional noise. If the bandwidth is low, the signal energy will be lost. And next concept is, we can see this frequency spectrums. The first one is a infinite duration signal. For infinite duration signal, we have a impulse. The spectrum is a impulse. If you take a finite duration signal, the spectrum is going to be spreaded. That means the bandwidth is increased. That means in practice the bandwidth is going to be higher. And the next concept is IF Doppler filter bank. The name itself indicating in this receiver we are going to use a narrow band filter bank. All these filters are overlapped to cover the Doppler frequency range. These are the different filters. If we use the more number of filters, the loss of the signal will be less, but it will increase the complexity of the receiver. When the Doppler shifted echo signal is known to lie somewhere within the relative band of frequencies, a bank of narrow band filters spaced throughout the frequency range and permits the measurement of frequency and improves the signal to noise ratio. And the bandwidth of each filter is wide enough to accept signal energy, but not so wide to introduce the additional noise. The bandwidth of the filter must be wide enough to accept signal energy, but not so wide enough to introduce additional noise. The center frequency of all the filters are staggered to cover the entire frequency range, and all these filters are overlapped filters, because to cover entire Doppler frequency range, the filters are overlapped filter. Then only the signal lost is less. The loss of the signal is less. This IF filter bank method is Doppler filter bank method is used only when the Doppler frequencies are known. This is about Doppler filter bank method. And the next one is in CW radar output, a sine of radial velocity. In CW radar output, we are getting only FD, Doppler frequency shift. We don't know whether the target is approaching or receding. Suppose if you get f naught plus fd, the target is approaching. If the echo signal frequency is f naught minus fd, the target is receding. By observing the sign, we can say whether the target is approaching or receding, but the CW radar output is only FD, but sign is missed. That means we cannot understand whether the target is approaching or receding using a CW radar. For this, to know whether the target is approaching or receding by using a servo motor. We know that the first spectrum indicating there is no Doppler frequency shift. The target is stationary. If the target is stationary, the echo signal frequency and transmitted signal frequency are same. Echo signal frequency f0 and transmitted signal frequency is f0. If the target is approaching, suppose the second figure indicating if the target is approaching, the first line indicating transmitted signal frequency f0 and the second line indicating the received signal frequency, it is f0 plus fd, because the second line is present above the f0. That means it is a high frequency. That means f0 plus fd. The third figure indicating when target is receding, we are getting f0 minus fd, because the second line present before f0. That means the frequency is less than f0. That means if the target is not in motion, the echo signal frequency same as transmitted signal frequency. If the target is in approaching, the echo signal frequency is higher than f0. If target is receding, the echo signal frequency is less than f0. And whether the target is approaching or receding or can be calculated or can be understood by connecting mixer A output and mixer B output to the synchronous motors. We have two mixers, mixer A and mixer B. By connecting these two signals to the synchronous servo motor, the direction of the synchronous motor, the direction of running of the synchronous motor, it will indicate whether the target is approaching or receding. Suppose the transmitted signal is ET, that is equal to E0 cos omega naught t, and the echo signal will be ER equal to K1 E0 cos omega naught plus or minus omega dt plus phi. Suppose the target is in motion, and where E0 is the amplitude of the transmitted signal and K1 is the constant and omega naught is the angular frequency and omega d is the Doppler frequency shift and phi is the constant phase shift, and output of the first mixer is A equal to K2 E0 cos plus or minus omega dt plus phi, and output of the second mixer is EB equal to K2 E0 cos plus or minus omega dt plus phi by 2. We are using two mixers, mixer A and mixer B, and mixer A output is EA, mixer B output is EB. And suppose if the target is approaching, we are going to take a plus sign, the f0 plus fd. We are getting if the target is approaching, we are getting f0 plus fd. Therefore, EA plus equal to K2 E0 cos omega dt plus phi, EB equal to K2 E0 cos omega dt plus phi by 2. We are considering only plus sign because the target is approaching, and similarly when the target is receding, we are going to take a minus sign. Therefore Ea minus equal to k2 E naught cos omega dt minus phi, and Eb minus equal to k2 E naught cos omega dt minus phi by 2. And these mixer A output and mixer B output are given to the synchronous motor. The running of the synchronous motor, the running of direction of the synchronous motor will indicate whether the target is approaching or receding. The sign of omega d and direction of the target motion may be determined by according to whether the output of channel B leads or lags the output of channel A. And the next concept is applications of CW radar. Already we know the applications of the CW radar. The CW radar is used to measure the relative velocity of the target, and it acts as a rate of climb meter for vertical takeoff of the aircraft. The CW radar is used for controlling of traffic lights and regulation of the toll booths and vehicle counting. In railways, it is used as a speedometer, and it is used for the measurement of velocity of missiles and baseballs. It is used to measure the turbine blade vibrations, and this CW radar is used for a measurement of speed of grinding wheels, and it is used for monitoring the vibrations in the cables of suspension bridges. And high power CW radar is used for detection of the aircraft and other targets. And basic use of CW radar is used to measure the velocity of something, some target or some device. We are going to use CW radar. And this is about today's class. Thank you very much.